everybody. Welcome to another episode of TOPTRIO3. Holla at your boy. This is Rick Smith, Top Trio. Excited to be here for another podcast. I got Jose back from the wrestling podcast. Great friend. Got a lot of respect for him. What's up, Jose?
Nothing, you brought me back, so clearly I did something good.
Yeah, something right. I mean, if you keep contacting me at 3 a.m., but 12 a.m. your side, your time, I can only do so much. So I figured that, hey, it's later up in the evening. I know you're just starting your day right now, but my day's over with. So I'm just, I'm giving you the last few minutes of my time before you hit me up in another 6 hours. So, thanks again, dude. But tonight we're talking about He-Man. Oh, my bad, not He-Man. Masters of the Universe, Revelation. Can't say He-Man in the title because people are going to feel that the show is about He-Man. Got to make sure I come correct. And I make sure Jose keeps me honest. So, we had some talks about He-Man, and I was like, look, let's go ahead and do this podcast. Great time. He said he really wanted to do it too, so it's like, let's put our brains together, knock it out. So, did you watch Masters of the Universe Revelation? That's about the Masters of the Universe?
Honestly, I was one of those people that I just went ahead and streamlined all 5 episodes. I mean, they're 25 minutes a piece. It felt like an easy watch.
Yeah.
Except for episode 2. You and I have talked about it, how we feel about that. Like, not that it was a horrible episode, but that it was like the weakest out of the 5. That's to be expected in any series. There's very, very few series where where every episode is excellent. Like I can't even really think of one that has like all episodes being excellent.
It's tough.
But long
story short, I understand, man. I episode 2, man. But you can go and finish your talk, fam. I'm gonna say something about episode 2 later. But go ahead and finish what you were saying.
I watched it all. Obviously it's not perfect, but I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it because of the fact that it was like, yo, we're going back into this universe. See what I did there?
Universe. Okay.
Going back into this universe with these characters. Keep in mind, I'm somebody that I don't have a strong attachment to nostalgia, and if people do, that's great. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, I'm not saying it's bad. Yeah, you told me specifically why the old He-Man cartoon is important to you, and stuff like that I totally get. But like me, I've always, when something old is remade or continued now that I'm no longer a kid, I'm in my 30s, I look at it.
Man, you look a day over 29, man.
I look at it from the standpoint of, okay, clearly, no matter what they say, this is not going to be completely like what it once was. Exactly. I mean, to be perfectly honest, obviously by now anybody watching this knows that the show has been getting a lot of hate. It's getting a lot of love, but it's also getting a lot of hate. But if
it's a He-Man sequel, how can you hate this? Like, something came out 40 years ago. Like, why would I hate a cartoon that came out 40 years ago? You give me a sequel, but some people will just, whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Because just finish my statement real quick. It's like, if they made the 80s show, if they made this exactly like the 80s show, trust me, people will be up in arms for a whole different reason. We all know that there were certain viewpoints and mentalities towards certain characters.
Yeah.
That, because back in the 80s, that's kind of how things were, that, it wouldn't fly. So they updated
changed.
People like that. But you know what? One thing I will say is, guys, this is only part 1. This is the first 5 episodes. At least at least
Five.
get to the last, 5.
Plead
There's
the
10.
fifth. Plead the fifth.
Exactly, so like Sean Spears, 10.
10. So you only watch 2 hours and 5 minutes of Masters of the Universe. Revelation. So, but yeah, man, people just want to argue. I understand why people are upset. I mean, episode 2 didn't really sit with me pretty well. Kind of wish they split up with added Gringer, adding up until he was shown again, because I didn't feel that Gringer got his spotlight. Everybody else got character development, and I think Gringer is probably one that needs more character development than anything else. Always been a fan that Battle Cat has always been his inner self that he can never bring out. So I've always kind of like wanted him to take that next step and be, the Green Tiger or whatever, Liger or whatever he is, and take that next step. But I understand why people are upset. It is what it is. You saw He-Man, you thought you were going to get He-Man. You got Masters of the Universe instead. The title. Me personally, what you should have done is set the expectations in the title of the episodes so that everybody would have been okay. First episode of He-Man. Sure, episode of He-Man. Number 2, episode of Teela. The episode's about Teela, who has been in all the episodes for the original show. That is a very important character that got great character development. May not be the character development that everybody else wanted, but it showed how she dealt with what happened. It is what it is. Episode 2, whatever. However you think, fine, whatever. Episode 3, Man at Arms, badass. How's he dealing with being exiled and not having his family and everything that happened with Adam? Sucking it up. Episode 4, my man Orko. You could be Orko/Evelyn. I don't care. Best dialogue in the whole freaking show. Best episode. Teela got character development. Everybody got character development. It was great. Perfect writing. Scareglow. I know you talk about him quite frequently. Amazing character design. Start to finish. Great. Episode 5. Episode of Adam. Ended there. Cliffhanger at the end. You're fine. People on Netflix can see what the episode name is. When they go to the next episode, they can see it in the drop down. Everybody's happy. Expectations are met. People, Jose will tell you, Masters of the Universe. M. So, yeah, man. I love that you're on here tonight, man. I love, I told you I love He-Man for what it is, man. I have so many memories with He-Man as a kid. One of my fondest memories with my dad. He loved it. I loved it. It was trying to sell toys, man. That's what it was at the time. And now you're trying to create a complex story, and you're blaming Kevin Smith and whoever else. And these dudes are putting all their work and their resources together to give you guys a great product, man. Come on. Lighten up.
Yeah, no, and kind of touching on what you just said too, like, people throwing so much like negativity and hate towards Smith, saying he's a liar, saying like he ruined his career, his most recent Batman on Batman, where he put everything on the table. They're saying, oh, it's him having a meltdown, and it's like none of that's really the case. But if that's how you feel, that's how you feel. But like, to be honest, so if you're really going to throw any type of hate or negativity, you kind of should be throwing it towards Netflix, because this show was split into 2 parts for no reason. I mean, if they were trying to compete with other streamers like HBO Max and Disney Plus, okay, but the problem is Netflix has always been, you get a full season at one time. That was kind of what made them, like, yo, we got to watch it. Stranger Things, we got the whole thing. We can watch it in one sitting.
Sorry to cut you off. I'm going to add a video to this. Hope you guys see it. Video right here. It's going to say, I'm going to make sure everybody see this. It's going to say, it's going to be for Lion King, and it's going to be Mufasa talking to Simba and saying, remember who you are. And that's what Netflix needs to be. Remember who you are. You are not these other, you don't have to be them. You don't. Okay, shut up. It's all you.
but yeah, like and keep in mind, like I'm not saying like throw hate to throw hate, but that's what I feel like. If anything, you guys should really question more why was the series split into two parts. Now, if you're gonna sit here and complain about like, oh, you know, it was a bait and switch, it was this and the other. Again,
Man,
we don't have the other 5 episodes, so
seriously, man.
you know, so for all we know, every single thing that was said prior to it coming out is true. It's
Yeah,
just the last 5 episodes, not these first five. These first five
yeah,
were only a portion of it, and that's why I feel like, yeah, like you know, I mean, got to give it to Kevin Smith. He's doing his best. Him and the voice actors and anybody that worked on the
yeah.
show, they're doing their best to do like
Damage
damage
control.
control.
Yeah, they just
And you know they're sitting and it's weird how like they're doing just standard damage control, and yet people are saying, oh, he's having a meltdown. He's not. This is what you do. You as passionate as you guys are about He-Man and Masters of the Universe, he's as passionate about this project
yeah.
because he put time into it, and everybody that is a part of it, they're passionate about it. So of course, if you guys or you know whoever is saying, yo, this show fucking sucks, and one of them responds with, no, it doesn't.
Yeah.
That you're why are you not allowing them to defend their passion like
Yeah.
you are doing?
And I get that. And that's, I'm just like, why? Like, you haven't got a finished product. And this is one thing that Jay the Movie Destroyer on Top Tree always talks about. You got to finish your meal. To give a true assessment, you're complaining about 5 episodes and really just 1 episode. And I understand why. And trust me, it took me for a loop as well. I wasn't prepared for it. But you got to stop letting other things in society fuel your responses, because it may not be that deep. And that's the thing that people got to realize too. Like, there's other products that probably fuel the decision making, but in our society right now, a lot of this stuff sells. It didn't sell in 40 years ago. And you want to make sure that in the product, especially now, that you're going to appeal to all audiences, just not one audience. And that's the other hard part. Like, it happens in Marvel all the time. They appeal to audiences all the time based off of what society is generalized now compared to how it was when we were growing up. Marvel's a totally different beast than when you and I were kids. Totally different beast. This MCU is not even close to what we grew up on. But you generalize it, you make it so the common movie watcher can understand and relate. This is what sells. And episode 2, with the casual fan and the perception that other similar properties that follow similar aspects of the show got, you're pushing, you're steering it in the wrong direction. It's a cartoon. It's not that deep, man. And if you watch the other episodes, especially episode 4, which is, I'm gonna keep saying, is the GOAT episode. If you watch it and pay attention to what happens to Tila, it makes episode 2 so much better, because you see how she deals and copes with the loss and what happened. And you have to understand that. Stop, people, stop being so dense. Sorry, stop. I know you're entitled to your opinion. That's great. This is a cartoon, and I'm gonna say this right now: a cartoon we don't deserve. I mean, we don't deserve it. I mean, it's a sequel to something that came out 40 years ago, and then somebody decided to take it upon their time, effort, resources, get money together, get the funding, and create a project to give you a sequel to something you grew up and you cherish. All respect in the world. No matter how bad it is, the fact that they did this, it takes time, money, and effort to get the right people in the right building. Their voice acting cast is the best I've seen, probably next to Invincible, man. All respect to Kevin Smith and his team, man. And Griffin Newman, you got to follow today. I love your talk on the Fat Man Show. It was great. Much love to you for doing your homework and delivering one of the best Oracle performances I could ever ask for. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. No, I mean, and you know, you're completely right. And the other thing too that I find interesting about like this whole thing with it is like, yo, if y'all don't like the show, cool, don't watch it.
Yeah.
Just because Masters of the Universe Revelations exists doesn't mean that Netflix somehow went and destroyed the He-Man and Masters of the Universe cartoon and went to everybody's house and took all their toys and all their comics, did that. No, like if you don't like it, just don't watch it.
Yeah.
Don't watch. Like don't like it, it's something you and I are definitely agreed upon is that like look, if you have every right to feel how you feel and express it, but don't become a person that you're actively coming off like you're trying to get others to hate it as well.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of people on YouTube that's exactly how they sound. It's not even that they're trying to fight for something they love. They literally just sound like they're just trying to get people to hate it because they don't like it, and that's a no-go. If you don't like something, go ahead, don't like it, talk about it, that's fine, but don't actively go out of your way.
I really wish it was that simple, man, because we saw what happened with Justice League and the DCEU, man. People, like, dude, if you don't like the DCEU, why do you continue to watch their movies and then go online and bash it? Like, this is another thing, and I'm hating to switch topics. Why do people hate Justice League? Like, think about it. Because it's in the DCEU. That's it. That movie, Snyder he decided to come out and do everything he needed to do to create a movie, to finish his legacy, to give you a great product for 4 hours. And then what you had to do is go online and ruin this man's dream. He put it all on the table, delivered you a different product, gave you 4 hours of content for superheroes. But the fact that you saw these movies almost 10 years ago, and the DCU in theaters, you hate DCU that much that you can't give somebody who's trying to give you their best product respect. Look, I thought that Justice League was amazing. I can see here. I did DCU. I don't like any DCU properties outside of the cut properties, and probably Shazam. That's probably about it. I really don't mess with them. I really don't care for them. But Shazam was great, and Dawn of Justice was great. But the theatrical releases just don't interest me at all. But I'm going to give Snyder his props. I thought Justice League was amazing, and I thought it deserved the respect because he put his all into that product. And the same with Kevin Smith. He doesn't even really care about He-Man that much. But he went out above his way for the fans to give you a sequel, and you're going online to complain. Like, I don't understand people. Like, people just can't be grateful. You get to sit at home, and I'm going to say this again. You get to sit at home on your couch for 2 hours and 5 minutes and watch the Masters of the Universe. If most people that I know are probably going to watch this, but I talked to online, weren't alive 38 years ago. Weren't even thought of. If you were alive 38 years ago, let me tell you what would have happened if you want to watch He-Man. You would go to the store. You would buy a small pamphlet magazine that has a time phrase for all the shows on every channel you can get through your tuner. You have to connect to your RF adapter on the back of your TV. You have to get somebody to hold the adapter because the reception is probably garbage. And then most people back then had black and white TVs, so you watch He-Man, it's going to be in black and white. Let me tell you, watching He-Man was a chore until I got the USA Network. But what I'm telling people is times have changed. You have the luxury of watching He-Man Masters of the Universe at home on your couch. Be grateful. This sequel was never meant to be, but somebody took it upon themselves that they had a great idea. Take it for face value, man. Would you rather it not be made, or you'd rather be made? Because He-Man, we haven't had nothing since the Cartoon Network show, which was amazing until season 2. So I'm grateful, happy. I love Orko. I love Gringer. I love all the characters. I understand why T was getting crapped on, but is it warranted? No. Do I understand why people are mad? Yes. That's all I can say.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, also too, dude, if y'all really have issues, just watch the recent Fat Man on Batman that Kevin Smith did. I mean, I know people don't like spoilers, I guess. Doesn't really give any spoilers, but he pretty much gave us the roadmap of what the next 5 episodes
and it's amazing
are. And if if that all comes out like it's supposed to, like he says it is, and then a lot of complaints, they're probably going to be unwarranted. I mean, I'm pretty sure there are some complaints that are valid. There always are complaints that are valid, but a lot of the nitpicking ones are going to be unwarranted. But we just have to wait and see. And again, that's just kind of going back to what I said earlier. Why Netflix did you split this?
Yeah.
That makes no sense. Like we could have had, like, trust me, I would have sat up and watched the whole 10 episodes.
Yeah,
and
I would have taken off of work.
And I'm not
2 through 5 was great. I mean 3 through 5. So
yeah, and again, this is coming from someone that, like I said, I don't have nostalgia playing a factor into it. I just have a thing of like, I remember growing up watching it. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Now at that my age now, I know the old cartoon wasn't very good. It was actually pretty bad. You go back and watch it. That thing does not hold up. Anybody that holds up, y'all are lying. So with this, what we got, it's like, okay, cool. Let's give it a shot. I have some gripes with episode 2. Yeah. There's little gripes throughout all the episodes, little things here and there. I mean, that's natural, but like at the same time, like I enjoyed it, and I'm willing to bet more people enjoy it than actually hate it.
Yeah, but the consensus online is like people love if you bash something, people are going to, of course, respond.
Yeah,
you say, hey, oh my goodness, this show sucked, and then people feel, oh yeah, kind of did suck. People are going to follow, just. It's easier to bash something than give it props. That's just the way the world works. Easy to say, oh, this team sucks. Yeah, this team does suck. This team does suck. This team does suck. You have that one fan. The team doesn't suck. They won 12 games last year. They didn't win a Super Bowl. I mean, like,
well, I guess that one loss doesn't mean it like completely negate.
I just like, that's how I look at it. Like, you got 5 episodes. Just let's go ahead and say episode 2 was trash. I mean, just hypothetically, it wouldn't trash everybody. Episode 2 was trash. You scored on 4 of the episodes. You rolled your dice. You tried to make something appealing. And 5 episodes, 4 out of 5 you got right. That's a win in my opinion. I think that's an honest win.
Yeah, I agree.
You try to create something 40 years ago, make it pop and make it constant for this new generation, and you hit 4 out of 5. Props, man. And except Orko, I love Orko. Biggest fan of Orko ever. Favorite character. Got much love and respect. He had his moment. Griffin Newman, like I said, I had to add him today. Just amazing voice actor. His whole cast, great job. Mark Hamill as Skeletor is not something I thought I needed in my life until it actually happened. The dude is just straight menacing. Like his voice is just it's. I actually hope the guy stays alive forever because I think every generation from here on out needs to hear this man talk, man. I have never, this dude has transcended so well over the years in his voice acting. And just him as Skeletor, I've never put those two together, ever. And it goes so well. And just the way he talks to folks. And great job. I'm excited for part 2. Like I said, Jose said, watch the special. The Fat Man special. It's really good. It's going to give you some tips and pointers on what's going to happen next. And you'll be pleasantly surprised. If you get opportunity, watch Beyond Grayskull on Netflix. It will probably change. Yeah, it's good. It's probably going to change your views on He-Man in general. A lot of things people don't know about the original He-Man show is advertised in that show. And it's really going to bring you to a consensus of how and what He-Man was originally about. And why and how you should or should not be so passionate about it. It deserves a hype because it's something that we love growing up. But if you learn the basis and the history behind it, it's kind of, I'm not going to say it's jacked up, but it's kind of like it's an end result of other things happening. And it was just, I'll say it was kind of like a cash grab and it kind of worked out. So, I mean, but I'm really excited for part 2. Thanks for coming on, Jose. But I will say one thing if I got off of here with Jose. Orko. I don't care. Dude. So Jose and I talk. I'm gonna put my head down when I say this because I'm gonna make sure nobody can see my expression because I'm a little mad at Jose. So so I don't show my emotions and cry on screen. Spoilers, Orko, episode 4 is no longer here. He's probably dirt. But there's a theory that my great friend Jose has told me at 3 a.m. in the morning, 12 a.m. his time, but I still think he lives on the East Coast, but that's a whole other topic. He tells me that Orko may not be dead. So I'm going to allow him to tell you all his theory without me getting upset because my man had an honorable death and he deserves to be dead. So, Jose, go ahead and make me feel compassion that I wanted him to be back in my life again and tell everybody why you think he may be coming back.
Okay, so before I say it, if this happens, I apologize. I did not mean to spoil anything. I have no insider information.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, actually, no, he's lying. So let me tell you what happened. So before he finished saying what he had to say, this is going to end Top Trio. He's going to end it on this note. But Jose and I, we talk about a lot of different things happening in the industry and everything all the time. 95, 96% of the time, our stuff comes to fruition. And we just sit there and we just be baffled, like, so we didn't create this episode last week. We didn't create the ending to this show. We didn't call that. So Jose and I, well, I'm gonna put on Jose because I'm not taking credit for any of this. If this comes to fruition, I'm gonna be pissed. I'm gonna be upset. I'm gonna be hurt because my man had an honorable death and he had his moment. But never take what Jose said with a grain of salt because he's very knowledgeable and the shit he says comes to life, literally. So, and another thing is, if it comes to fruition, you heard it first on Top Trio, and every other industry cannot take credit for it. You heard it first here. He said it, and he should get all the credit in the world. You guys should hit him up and tell him he's very smart and intelligent, and he knows shit. Go ahead, Jose.
Okay, so in episode 4, like he's just saying, Orko is not here with us anymore. But the whole episode, he and Evelyn have this interaction between each other where, you know, the history of his name comes up to play, and ironically enough, and even though it's like a throwaway line, the history of Evelyn's name comes up. And you see this character development between these two characters that are so vastly different and opposite. And when they're trying to escape this thing they're fighting, you know, at this point in the story, magic is dying. Magic is almost out. And if it goes, Eternia dies. That's why they're actually trying to do all of this. Obviously, it affects Orko and Evelyn the most because they were, you know, the magic users of both sides. They were like the main magic users. And so they're trying to fight this thing. They're not able to do it. Evelyn has like part of her staff, the orb on top, and there's a key thing with it that happened in the second episode, ironically enough. And when they're fighting this thing, they both grab the staff, and it powers up. So episode 5, there's a key thing that happens, a big reveal about the staff. So my thing is that I believe that, and again, this is just my theory, no insider, nothing, I swear to God. My theory is that some part of Orko is in that staff now, whether if it's his soul, spirit, energy, whatever. And something about him is now in that staff, and it's either going to be the thing that causes him to come back. And if he does come back, he might not be Orko, he might be by his actual name that he was supposed to have, or that it's going to be the thing that saves Evelyn and then causes her to finally realize, hey, yeah, no, like, really am on the wrong side. And, you know, it took this dude who I've always thought was an idiot to really finally get me to see that. So that's my theory. Yeah. And I do keep in mind, even though I have that theory, I do 100% agree with Rick. If Orko is gone and never comes back, that was the best send off he could have ever
Yeah.
had, because in one moment he does arguably one of the most badass things to a character that has always been
Yeah.
considered extremely powerful because of what they used as an energy source. And Oracle, the one person that should not have been able to stand up to
Yeah.
him, did and came in as the kids say, came in clutch, like on the big time, really did. And that whole sequence is that's why me, Rick, and a lot of other people I've seen online really do think that the fourth episode is the best episode right now, because of the fact that like he said, it even episode 4 even goes and kind of clarifies things in episode 2 that maybe had like I don't necessarily want to say that maybe if they were reversed order it might have been better, but there's things in episode 4 that get revealed about characters that you're like, okay, episode 2 now still not the best, but now I'm getting the picture.
Finishing your bill. Episode 4 helped me cope with episode 2. Like I felt similar feelings that other people had. Wouldn't say I was going to bash the show, but I felt it. I was like, I see what you're doing. I'm not 100% cool with it, but I understand why you're doing it. I said, if he goes this route, I'll deal with it. And then it was like, okay, I see what you're doing. You're trying to build her character up. Then you're trying to break her down to bring a reasoning why she's acting a certain way. And then she got to fight. Yeah, I was like, okay. It's like that meme with the guy from, was it? Guy from Community or wherever. Oh, for Horrible Bosses, when he's like trying to put the pieces together. Yeah, so that's just like, okay, yeah. So in episode 2, she did this, but in episode 4, she had to do this because she was sitting here and she was upset, and then she had to fight her fears and become even more of a badass. And then there was teasers about her mom, but we don't know who her mom is. And then she does this, and then it makes more sense. So episode 2 is not that bad. So I shouldn't have those feelings anymore. But I understand why everybody else should have those feelings, but they shouldn't because they watched episode 4. Boom. Problem solved. Everybody's happy.
Well, I will also say this because of the fact that you brought up my theory. I have another theory about a key character.
Okay.
A character.
Bring us home. Bring us home, man. Bring us home.
She's new to the series. I know a lot of people don't like her because of the supposed implications of why she's there, even though it's been stated that's not the case.
Brenda.
Look, I treat it like how back in the day with old school anime. Until you see it on screen, it doesn't exist. I'm just saying. Brenda. But like for me, I have a theory about Tila's friend. I think her name is Andra. I have a theory that she is not on the level and that possibly she might be an agent for Hordak. But
hold on, because let me throw this out here because I'm gonna stop you right there because there's people who say they know the He-Man universe and they don't. Can you please just explain who Hordak is?
Okay, so Hordak is he's the main antagonist from She-Ra.
Who is She-Ra? I don't know. I've never heard of She-Ra before. I don't know anything about that's the cartoon on Netflix. That's that cartoon on Netflix with the animation, the Cartoon Network animation stuff. Yeah, that's the. I know about She-Ra. Yeah. What's significant to that? Why these two don't go hand in hand?
Well, funny enough, She-Ra and He-Man are twin siblings.
What? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, that's dumb. Like, why would they do? Okay, go ahead and finish, man. There's no way. Now you're just talking that stuff, man. You even complaining about stuff. They don't go hand in hand. Why is the animation different? Why are they two different things?
I have no clue, man. I'm just saying.
I
have a theory that possibly Andra is working for Hordak this whole time because, and then because again, it would be a perfect way to tie in She-Ra and really get fans mad. But it'll,
Oh my goodness.
tie in She-Ra, because think about it, if you really go back and look at the old school cartoon He-Man and Masters of the Universe, they, even though they're siblings, they weren't in each other's shows.
Nah.
Except for like the Christmas special, and I think there was like another one or two specials, and maybe an episode here or there, but they were never in the same show. So if you're trying to reboot it and bring it back, why not go big and say, hey, guess what? We are fine. We're going one step further by finally giving you a show where both of them are there. And again, if you don't like that idea, you have the old school She-Ra cartoon. You have the Netflix She-Ra cartoon. You know, you can just not watch it.
And tell people, I'm a big fan of the crossover episode when it explains their history and explains the connection between Hordak and Skeletor, which is really good. And it does come to fruition. You may want to watch that movie. But that She-Ra He-Man movie is one of my all-time favorites. It's very well done, and it explains a lot about He-Man's origins, Eternia's origins, and She-Ra in general in her universe. So it was funny how they pieced two and two together, but it made perfect sense. It's a little unorthodox, but I really enjoyed the movie because I'm like, okay, this is pretty cool though. I was like, yeah, you connected it. You made it make sense, and it's like, oh wow, he had a sister, and then she got kidnapped. Oh crap! Like seriously? So it's you know, I think you guys should watch it. It's good. You'll enjoy it, and it'll help you kind of piece up the He-Man shared universe ish thingy. So the Masters of the Universe.
But that's my theories. We will wait to see if they happen. If they happen, again, no insider knowledge. This is just me taking some educated guess.
Quoting. So that's it. My only theory is that after this season's over, they'll do season 2, and they're going out to Motherboard. I think Motherboard is going to be a big bad. They've been teasing it. Motherboard seems to be the new big faction, because I think what's going to happen is that both parties, it seems like that Skeletor's party and He-Man's party are probably going to team up. It always kind of seems to be the thing when they restart stuff. You've seen it in Cobra Kai, you've seen it in Dragon Ball Super. When they reboot stuff, the enemies and the good guys seem to team up to take on the real threat. And I think that they're going to team up, because even with Evil Lyn being over there, I'm going to tell you something, and this is where I'm worried about. And I saw Goku and Frieza tag team together to take down Jiren. I never thought I would see that in my life. And I'm honestly feeling that I'm going to see a Skeletor and He-Man tag team. And it's going to drive me insane, because I would never expect both of those two guys together. But I know it's coming. I got this feeling they're going to tag team. I got this bad feeling. And it's going to be the most badass but weirdest thing I've ever seen. So, but they're going to, I guarantee Motherboard, because Motherboard is happy that there's no more magic. And you just can't ignore it. And that episode with that's the thing people don't understand. Episode 2, you don't like it, but it was building blocks. Explained the Motherboard and how the characters were created, and it had the cybernetic parts. And to see the father and the daughter take on the cybernetic parts, that joint was creepy.
Yeah, that was actually they were kind of delving into the body horror aspect of stuff.
This show is PG, and I don't understand how, but I mean, the way Jose explained it to me, that people get murked off screen, but I'm just not gonna let them slide what happened to Moss Man. Moss Man, I'm not giving Netflix an okay. This is a PG cartoon, and you literally murk Moss Man in the first 10 minutes. Incinerated. And then you're like, smells like pine. No, that's not okay. This is PG.
And to make it worse, it wasn't that he was incinerated. It was that he was incinerated, and you see him burn to death, and he is yelling in pain. Yeah. And you see like the skeleton left over. And then Skeletor delivers like the most. Probably the most thing he's ever done. of like Pine. Like, dude, you've done bad things, but that line, that was just evil as you breaking the mirror on the way out.
What I saw in this show, and this is so I'm gonna top this off, is that Skeletor and other villains, they were through dealing with BS. Like in an old cartoon, okay, cool, we're gonna fight, and then going all about Decepticons, we're gonna fight, we're gonna retreat. And this show is like, you pull up, you gonna catch one. If you stop me for what I'm doing, there's a good chance you're gonna die. You're gonna catch one. Like Skeletor, seeing him stab at him, incinerate Moss Man. Skeletor ain't having it. He's through. He's through with that. He's like, you know what? Y'all want to play games? I'm just gonna kill everybody. I'm just killing folks. You know, Scary Globe / Skeletor, whatever you want to call it. Orko's dead. Adam's, you know, Adam's not dead, but Adam died, pretty much died twice when you kind of look at it. Freaking Moss Man. Just, no, I'm tired of y'all stuff. You're dead. You're dead. You're dead. I mean, it just. But like, I'm loving the ride. I'm loving to talk with you, man. I expect to have a conversation at 3 a.m. I'm excited for what to come, man. I love the universe. I'm gonna take it for face value. For me, it's He-Man. No matter how I look at it, it's the characters are reanimated. It's a sequel. We don't deserve it. We got it. Cherish it while we got it, because I doubt we get anything like this ever again. So
yeah, I mean that movie keeps being stuck in limbo. So
yeah, I think this was the alternative, man. I really think this was the alternative, and I think what's going to happen, the reception that we're getting now, people probably won't be too happy with what may come out of that movie. If it does get produced, they're going to try to do the things that won't piss people off, but end up pissing people off in the get-go, because people are going to be already tuned in and understand that what the Netflix show is, and people are going to base the movie off the Netflix show. And be like, oh, this ain't like the Netflix show. I don't like it. Or this, or let's take out these aspects. It just, Hollywood is a different monster right now. Like, people hate the original He-Man movie. I don't think it's all that bad. I actually like the original He-Man movie. I thought, it's corny and cheesy, but they try to bring the He-Man world into the common world, and I was just like, wow, that's a tall order. A show doesn't have a lot of, like seriousness, and don't have a lot of complexity to it. You brought it into the actual world and created problems. I respect it. So this is Top Trio signing off. Thank you again, Jose. Appreciate it, bruh. Somebody said something? What's that? Oh, talking to people. This is Top Trio signing off. Thank you again, Jose, for everything, man. 2 podcasts in a row. I appreciate you, bruh. As you know, this is episode 2. Episode 2 is always garbage. So I got to deliver on episode 3, 4, and 5. So that seems to be the thing. So, and nobody knows what's going to happen 6 through 10. So, but
we'll just wait and see.
Yeah. So remember, there's 10 episodes. 10, not 5. But if you get 4 out of 5, that's better than getting all 5 wrong. So there you go. Peace out, everybody.